Yeah, I'm just going to show you how I'm fixing this damaged Dinky toy. You know, it's a military Jeep type. And you can see the front is off. I'll take a closer shot for you. But the front is off. I'm going to just show you how I'm going to fix this up. And it might give you some tips on how to fix your Dinky toy when it's missing parts like this. Yeah, the first problem is how to I'm missing the canopy and the two pillars down. So the biggest problem is how do I get the roof extended and come down and have it come into here and make it solid enough that it doesn't keep breaking. So what I'd come up with as an idea was to saw in with the hacksaw, and the small hacksaw in the top here, right underneath the pillars there in the door, which create these little slits here. And then down here, I sawed straight down in front of the car here as well. As you can see, there you go. Right? And I sawed down a little bit in there. You can see just a little bit enough so that you can get a piece of tin in it. There you go. So there's tin. Now, many of you would, you get the old tin snips and you cut your tin. But see, what I use is the scissors, because the scissors gives a lovely clean cut. And you know what? When you use the scissors, you can do it a couple times and get it right. So where am I at now? I cut out a little piece of tin and I used the flat nose pliers and bent it in like this to create my windscreen. And now what I've got now, I tried it, a couple of times. You can see I tried another one here. And by accident, I bent one and then I bent it open and I realized, oh, there's little bend marks. So to create these little marks on top of the roof here, if you can see them, I'll zoom in. Ribs on the roof. I've decided if I made a little piece of tin and bent it and then bend it back straight, I get these ribs I need to make the same ribs as on the roof. So that's nice. So we're beginning to get the shape we need and everything. I just want to show you this. This is the roof at the moment. It goes in there and then it pops down in here. Now I haven't got the window cut out yet. And I'm most likely going to stick a second piece soldered, right, which I cut out with the scissors here as well. I'm going to solder that on top there and give it a little bit more strength. See, then we'll have two. And then I'll most likely put this, a piece made specially for this. Bend it, and then I'll flatten it up again, and I'll get the rib marks to shape up like it should, And I'll show you later on when I have the window cut out and some more pieces soldered on how it looks. I use J weld, or the JB weld, to glue it on. So that's where I'm at the moment. I'll come back to you. Solder on both sides of the tin and now press them together. And what I'm going to do is just heat the tin here, and the actual solder will melt in between the two plates. And you can see it running a little here, right? There you go. See, and it's beginning to happen, right? There it goes. So I have the first two tins together. I'm going to put a little piece of a staple down here and solder it in so that you have a little flat on the side like these have, or a little bit of an edge. Filing, and I'm using a paper clip here, but after filing, just to hold it, so after filing I take this paper, this is a staple gun clip, and I just snip off the end, and there you've got it. If you take this off, this paper clip, which you're just holding it for soldering. I'll just give it a little file to show you again. You have to file your staples or sand them on the sides so that the solder takes. Otherwise it won't. You have soldered in a little piece here to give it a little bit of stability for filler. So I can and then I'm going to put another piece on top in the end. So the roof is going in now and it's clipping into the front. I need to just do a little bit of filing and shaping. And it's going to look pretty good. And then I'm going to put another piece, like I said, on top here. Maybe just with filler, and then make those little marks on it like that. And voila, see? And fill that in, and we'll be very close to what I need for this to be back to normal, to look like a Jeep again. There. Yeah, it took me a while to solder this in here, see? But, it's fixed in pretty good. I don't have the window cut out yet. Sometimes it's better to use the piece of wire in here and put the flux on than it is to use the staples. But it's going to be pretty solid when it's done. bring back an old car out the window. I cut with the scissors up, and I knifed across the tin until it cracked off. And it's looking pretty good now. And I can fill it in afterwards, so I'm quite happy with that. I should have a post down in here, but I haven't done it yet. But it's looking pretty good now. I just epoxied it in now. And as you can see, it's looking pretty good. I just put in the JP weld now, and there you go. Hi there, what we're going to fix is a reconnaissance vehicle 152B. The roof is missing in front here, and basically the guy said you can have it for $10 because, you know, nobody wants to fix them. So the next thing you should do really, which I actually didn't do straight off, I got right into it, is research the vehicle online, go to eBay and get some print-ups just of the vehicle and the shape of the front of the vehicle and how it looks. And here I got some other views of the vehicle, right? And there's the overlap, there's a little overlap here, which I didn't have on my vehicle. So I've decided to correct that. So I looked at the vehicle last night on eBay and found out that I didn't have a little overlap on the actual canopy, so I took it back off the vehicle. And I've soldered a little bit of baling wire around the edges to give it a little bit of a more overlap, so it looks more authentic. After much filing and everything, I think I got the look I want, which is pretty good. I still got to do the top, make the canopy come across. But as you can see, I got the angle nicely, and I got the post a little wider. Same on the other side. So I've got the look I want now for the front of the vehicle. I'll zoom in here so you can see. There you go. I got the look I want for the front of the vehicle. I still have to do the canopy on top. I often use little files, needle files, to clean up, or a little bit of a Dremel to do things. But I'm really quite happy with that. It's a little bit out of shape, but not much. It's very hard to spot it. Oops, sorry, I did that again. Anyways, there's the picture up there, see, and there's the vehicle. So now we got a fairly good similarity between the two. I'm quite happy with that. There's nothing like bringing an antique car back to life. Here we go. I'm going to make a little piece for this. So it's going to be just in here, come in here. Got to be a little longer than the actual truck itself. Little scratch mark. And you know, I'm just going to show you something. Use one of these cutters. The problem is you get these little edges along when you're clipping. I can't show it on that. What you do is you get these little bad marks on the thing sometimes, and you really can't get them out afterwards. It didn't show it there, that's not bad, but you can see it cuts and it pulls it over sometimes in that because it's very light tin. So I used to use those, and then I went, oh well, why not use the scissors, try it. And I tried it and it works great. You just take your scissors and you get such a real clean cut out of it, right? And there you go, you got a nice clean cut. You don't have to do much shaping. Look at that, it's very close to what I want for the Jeep. I have to do a bit of shaping with this, so I'm going to create next is a little crease mark right up the center here. This last panel goes all the way down, so there's a little crease mark here. I have to recreate that. I'm going to show you how to do that. So what I got here is the flat pliers, and you put it right up to the center mark, which is going to be the crease, and you bend it over like this. I got a crease now in the middle, a little bit of it sticking up there, right? And then when I bring it back, to bring it back straight, I have, look, exactly what I wanted, right? A little mark. Hang on, I'm going to show you that. See now, right in here we have the little crease mark we need. And you know, you can really epoxy that on. I got to shape a little bit more, but there isn't much more to it. I've made a very fine little strip here that's going to go in here. It's going to be epoxied in first, just to lift this up a little bit more on the back by the canopy so it's more in line, and as you can see it's really close now. So that's what I'm looking for. I hope not to have a line there in the end. Nothing visible. I might grind it off a little bit on the corner like a 45 so the epoxy sticks in there. Yes, if you look at the here in this drawing, it kind of tapers down, so that's why I put a little bit of a piece in here to bring it up a little. So we do get the shape that I'm looking for. Towards this corner here, so I put a little bit of tin underneath this. A shim like. Now I'm going to epoxy that on and let it dry, I think. And we'll see where we'll go from there. Different grooves out, but I'm going to try this today because the other one didn't really harden great last night. So I'm going to re-glue it tonight with this LePage fast grade. It's 8X, it's stronger, plus it's really strong stuff. So I put a little bit out here. We're going to just glue this canopy on. I usually take a little screwdriver and just smear it on here. I got to put this little sliver in first and the roof in. So after about 20 minutes, oops, there we go. Poking around and cleaning up with a knife. And the roof came kind of stuck to my finger and came off and went back on. I have it glued on. And I used the epoxy for a change to try it out. There you go, it needs a little bit of cleaning up and shaping. And I got the little edge on there, see the rib on the top. Filled the top a little bit and cleaned it up with JB Weld. It's drying, and I did the front mudguard here. I need another fill because there's a chip off it, and I'll file that with needle files most likely to make it right. I did a little bit of Dremel work, and then I had to make the crease a little bit better with the little bit of filler. I kind of hit the crease a bit, but you know, in general, it's looking really good. It's beginning to shape up. So there we go with the guard in. I'll file it. Here's the truck this morning. I'm after cleaning it up a little bit. I'll do a little bit more on it. I got the top pretty good there, see? A little bit of Dremel, a little bit of filing, a little bit of sanding. Yeah, I filed it more, and as you can see, it really looks good. It's going to get more, a little bit more, and then it's going to get a gray undercoat, and we're going to see what it looks like before touching it up. There's the roof done. I might touch it up a little or sand it a little, but you know, I must say just paint this area green now and leave the rest of the vehicle. And of course, I have to finish doing this little fill in here and file it a little bit more with the needle file, which I was just doing. And we're going to have pretty good look-alike with the truck. So there you go. There's other videos for painting, which I've already put up on YouTube. So there you go with a bit of tin, how nicely you can fix your vehicles, huh?